Welcome to Ear Biscuits. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. This week at the round table of dim lighting, we are tackling the question, what is our relationship with gross foods?
Oh, we have a relationship with gross foods?
We have a...
That's news to me.
I don't know if you know, but we also have an audio-visual program that comes out 5 days a week called Good Mythical Morning. Oh man, we've done it. I've kind of traced our relationship with food through the episodes of the show.
Like Shabazz?
What? Oh, not like Shabazz, but you should tell people what you mean by that.
Whenever I hear the word traced, this is
That's awesome.
Just absolutely
I know what you're talking
ingrained in
about.
my brain. Shabazz moved to Bowie's Creek. What grade?
Probably 7th grade. Maybe, definitely 8th grade he was there because at the 8th grade parties, the 8th grade party at Adam Nicholson's house.
I was gonna say 5th, but okay.
Oh yeah, he could have been there earlier, but I know he was in our friend group in 8th grade because he would come to the parties.
But Shabazz, all of a sudden, like, you know, when you're that age, it's like the ability to draw is like a social, you got points. Everybody knows the kids who can draw. You know what I'm saying? It's like being able to draw, it's like, oh yeah, Mark, he's a really good drawer.
In grade school, there's an expectation that everyone should draw. And then sadly-
But some people are actually good at it.
That's weaned out of people, but then by the time you get to later middle school, which I think is where this story takes place, or this memory, there's just a few people who continue to draw, like Kevin Wins, he continued to draw.
Right, I think he continues to draw.
Yeah, because he's good at drawing.
But anyway, Shabazz was breaking out these incredible renditions of like Warner Brothers characters and comic book characters and bringing them to school, and we were like, this new guy is incredible.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know who discovered it, but Shabazz was tracing.
It got out.
The secret got out.
It got out that he was tracing.
It's basically plagiarism. It's visual plagiarism.
This had much more of an impact on you than me. I think he must have been in your class, not mine.
I don't know, man. It's just, because
when you hear the word
I was
trace,
so intimidated by, I'm intimidated by people who are better at things than me, and I'm like, well, I can draw too. And so I was just mad at him. You know, like when Shay Mitchell was so great at tasting.
I think, yeah.
Very similar.
I wouldn't have, that came out of me.
And
an anger that was then validated when I found out that she was tracing, so to speak. She was giving the freaking answers.
But yeah, that's why when I hear tracing, I think it's Shabazz. I will always.
When you hear the word
with
tracing.
the word tracing, that was quite an aside.
When I hear the word Tracy,
I
think of Tracy.
Yeah, me too.
Who we went to high school with.
Uh-huh.
And she had an older boyfriend who was a real cowboy.
Shane?
No, he had like a crew cut and he was
blonde hair.
He was a real cowboy.
Yeah, he had like
he had boots and he used them.
Right, and like a belt buckle, tucked his shirt in.
Yeah.
What was his name?
She was in my typing class and I kind of flirted with her, but I wasn't her type because I didn't.
Was that a joke?
No, it wasn't. Well, I didn't even know I said it. Are you intimidated by how well I can throw puns out there without even knowing?
Yeah,
does that make you angry?
Yeah, you make me feel like you're tracing. You're tracing your comedy.
So I've traced how we got to the point in Good Mythical Morning where we consume so much food. We do. I have to believe we have a different relationship with food because of the way we eat so much gross stuff and just food in general.
Without a doubt.
I'll come back to that. There was some fascinating things in that timeline that surprised me at least when I Shabazzed it. So we can come back to that.
I like that. That's a good use of
also
it.
Have some interesting tidbits about what makes things that are typically not tasty, something that you might acquire a taste for, like the psychology behind what I'll call acquiring a taste for something. Especially when it comes to hot peppers and gross things, and it extends beyond just foods as well. So I'm prepared, if it comes to it, to also talk about that because in my mind, that's what led up to that was the starting point for this conversation. And also Alex asking us, how has our relationship with food changed because of the show? I was like, that's a good question. We'll talk about that.
Okay, but first we wanna just catch up on the fact that we are both about to head out of town. We're obviously we're gonna be in at the time of recording this, we'll be in London next week for VidCon, doing our VidCon appearance and also our show, our concert.
But we wouldn't, that was weird how you said it. At the time of recording this, we will not be in London. We're here. We're recording it right now.
I corrected myself. At the time of recording, we will be in London next week.
Okay.
That's how I completed my sentence.
As of right now when we're speaking, once we're done recording this podcast, we're both leaving on independent vacations. And then right on the back side of that, we're going to London. By the time you listen to this, we'll be back from all of that. And then you can expect, I guess.
If it's worthy of a podcast.
We'll probably give you, each other and you, an update on our vacations. But I mean, I'm in like, have I forgotten something important? Like a passport or my underwear's clean type of thing? And what are the main things that I need? Because
it's a short trip though, it's a short trip.
I'm just taking a long weekend to Mexico. I'm going to Cabo because you've already been and I thought that was a good idea. I'm not taking my kids.
Do you need the watermelon outfit?
Well, I still have it.
Because I don't need it where I'm going.
I should take it to Cabo. I was thinking about when I took that for Instagram, Christy was like, you should wait till we go to Cabo. I was like, I gotta come back now. Yeah. I gotta do it here. And like, it was raining. It was kind of like a polar opposite type situation. A little bit,
which interestingly is kind of what's happening with our mini vacations here because the place that I'm going, I looked at the weather last night and it was currently 1 degree Fahrenheit. 1 degree Fahrenheit.
What? Okay.
That's 31 below 0 Fahrenheit. It's Mammoth.
Well, it's not 31 degrees below 0.
31 below freezing.
Freezing.
Fahrenheit. I'm going up to Mammoth. Interestingly.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I went last year.
So it's a ski mountain. I've never been. This is your second time.
It is, I think it's the largest ski resort in California. It's definitely the highest elevation, so it gets the most snow. And they just got 10 feet over the past weekend. 10 feet, that's a basketball goal.
That's crazy.
And
that is nuts, man.
It was a blizzard, it was nuts.
Are you gonna be able to get there? I mean,
I'm a little nervous,
you're leaving
man.
Basically hours from now. First thing in the morning.
Well, I mean, everything is hours from now. It's just a matter of how many.
Well,
all things.
Aren't you philosophical?
All things in the future are hours from now.
Listen, if you keep talking that smack, I'm not gonna let you borrow my rooftop cargo carrier.
I'm not taking it. I don't need it.
So that's why.
No, well, because Locke sprained his ankle. He's not skiing. Jessie had already made a decision that she was not going to ski and that she was just gonna chill and read.
Okay.
And so that leaves me and Shep. And so the only reason I need the rooftop carrier is to get the skis back and forth from where we rented them because we're staying at a place where we can just walk out and then like walk to the lift. So
well, isn't that special?
I believe that
that's fine. Hey, if you don't want my carrier, you don't have to have it.
I mean, I'll take it.
It's not like
I'll take it if you want me to.
It's not like I didn't get the best carrier based on Amazon reviews in existence.
I'm worried about
largest capacity.
The gas mileage.
Hey, you know what?
What about the
it's not like it's the most aerodynamic rooftop carrier that exists.
Well, you haven't driven, so halfway.
You don't have to borrow it. I'll just keep it at home.
Halfway to Mammoth.
My feelings aren't hurt.
When you get to the southern end of the Sierra Nevadas, the wind is ridiculous. Like I'm afraid that the rooftop carrier, I just end up on the side of the road, whoosh, sideways, right off the side. But the main reason, I just don't need it because Shepard's got short skis, I got long skis. It'll be in there for a half a month.
I'm not taking it personally.
But I'm gonna be freezing. You're gonna be living it up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be freezing.
Yeah, no sprained ankles.
But I am
no children at all.
I'm excited about skiing, and hopefully I'll have some kind of story, not too harrowing, because one of the things I read was there's something that on the Mammoth website that were like, beware of something, basically falling into deep snow and suffocating.
Oh,
there's a term for that.
10 feet of snow.
And so,
I could easily do.
Because you know how it is. The one time we went with Eric,
Yeah.
To I guess it was
Park City.
Park City, and it was snow. It's like a blizzard while we were on the mountain.
If you go off the groomed or the paths, like he was trying to take us through little shortcuts.
But if you really don't know how to ski well,
and that's crazy. It's
you
like,
just fall under the powder.
And then you cannot get out.
There's an art to like staying on top of the powder. I like the groomed, man.
It's like Legolas.
I'm a blue man.
You gotta be like Legolas in Lord of the Rings, man.
I'm like blue man group on the slopes. I see the blue and I go for it. I stay away from the black diamonds. I don't like the slopes. I like the gentle paths through the trees.
You like percussion on like found items.
Yep.
That's really what you're talking about.
I have a show in Vegas. It's just me going through the trees.
I thought about taking Jade with Christy and I on our pre-Valentine's romantic weekend in Cabo before I head away to actually be apart from my wife and the love of my life when Valentine proper hits. I'll be entertaining Mythical Beast in London, which by the way, if you wanna come see us, go to rhettandlinklive.com to see where we're gonna show up at a place near you. Around the US, we have some other dates posted and we're doing music. We're doing a bona fide concert. There is costuming involved at a certain point.
Right, and we continue to announce dates for as those things fall into place. And I'll just go ahead and do some more plugging while we're at it. If you're a member of the Mythical Society, you actually are the first to find out about where we're playing. So you can get those tickets, get the good seats, get the VIP ticks, that kind of thing. That goes to the Mythical Society first.
So I'm trying to figure out if I should take Jade as a last minute decision just because the answer's no. I just mentioned it to Christy. I wasn't like, I wanna bring Jade. This is about me and you, and I do understand that. So I didn't say any of that. All I said was, well, you know the hotel allows dogs. I just left it at that. And she was like, I know, but we don't need to bring Jade because this is about us. And I was like, exactly.
Yeah, right, I'm just letting you know, it's just a fact.
I mean, to me,
I'm letting you know other people's dogs will be there, just in case you want to bring your dog repellent.
I just think it's a fun idea to fly with a dog, to bring a dog to another like hotel and like.
Why is that a fun idea? I mean, you have an unusually.
You see what she does.
You have an unusually easy
She could be
dog.
here right now and you wouldn't know it.
But even though she's so easy,
she's like a fanny pack without the strap.
but she's still a little.
She just sits there on my
she's still
body.
a burden because she wants your attention.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want to do it. I want it just to be me and Christy and.
Well, you have the dog at the pool with you?
That would be kind of cool.
No, man.
Being that guy, be like Dr. Evil or something, having my cat with me at all times.
Well, yeah, okay, she is.
I haven't seen those movies, but I think that's what happens in them.
I think you're talking about Inspector Gadget's
Doesn't
arch nemesis. Maybe Dr. Evil has a cat. I can't remember. I'm bad at remembering details.
I haven't seen it, but I think he has a cat. So anyway, so far we're gonna move on to everything we've already talked about, but just in summary, we've devoted this podcast that you're listening to what might happen in other podcasts that we'll tell you about. That's what we've done so far.
Wow.
We've basically teased other episodes that we don't even know will exist. It's like, this is what's gonna happen in our lives. If there's something to report, best believe this is the venue that it will be reported.
That's tantalizing.
As well as, I'll probably will have posted lots of stuff on my Instagram. Shout out to me on Instagram, Link Lamont.
Oh, you can do that now, that's good.
I'm really gaining momentum over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're on quite a pace.
But you know what? I'm just dancing like no one's watching.
So
let's get to that food stuff in a minute.
But first we do wanna let you know that you can procure the sweater or sweatshirt that I have on and the baseball shirt that Link is wearing.
Now yours just looks like a black,
this is
long sleeve spin sweatshirt, very svelte.
Especially in the dim lighting.
If you do that, you kind of reveal that, ooh, there's a little surprise in there, and it's the Mythical logo.
It's very, very cool. You have the Mythical logo as well.
I do. Go to mythical.store and get all types of stuff, all types of surprises. Rep us. Connect with other mythical beasts out there in the wild when they see.
I thought it was Rep Your Boys.
Rep your boys.
Yeah, we should get that website
Do
too.
irreparable damage
Oh gosh.
by repping your boys. Mythical.store.
Okay, I'm interested to talk about, because it makes me emotional. Speaking of food, I've got some almonds that are still in my throat.
In the back?
Some salt and vinegar, which interestingly enough, the reason I like the salt and vinegar is because they bite you a little bit. They give you a little bit of a bite. You know that you're eating them.
Mm-hmm, yeah. There is a mouth punch.
But this has come up.
That possibly a child, if they were to eat one, would be repulsed.
They would not like it. A child does not typically like salt and vinegar unless they have acquired that taste.
This is what I'm gonna get into. You want me to start there, or where do you want to start?
That's fine. Well, I was going to say that this is a question that I feel like I get, I'm sure you get it as well, from just anytime I'm eating with someone who is a friend or at least knows that enough about our show to know that we eat weird stuff on our show. I feel like there's this expectation that, well, yeah, sure, order that because Rhett's here, because he's known for eating anything. Has that happened to you? While I'm eating with people at restaurants, there are conversations about my, gastro exploits. That's one word.
I think it's very clear that I don't like a lot of the things that I consume on the show, so I don't run into things like, oh, we can order that because
usually
Link will like it.
We can't order that because Link's here. That's a different thing. I'm trying to.
There was somebody was having a conversation, and it was like some weird combination of foods. Or like, oh, we could try. That's something to try. You know what? Wouldn't it be fun to try that? And then they realized they were talking to me, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry. That's kind of your job. And
right.
Maybe it was Britton at the house. Like we were just hanging out. He like caught himself. I can't remember who it was, honestly. I erased it from my memory because it was
good.
I wasn't in work mode. But yeah, I do think there's this. Oh yeah, even with friends, and whenever any of that like weird food stuff comes up, the conversation takes a different complexion because I feel like that somehow we found ourselves in a position of being the guys who eat stuff on the internet.
That is a facet. That is not me as a whole person.
So let's come back to that, but let's start more with like the psychology and the science and this other podcast that I was looking for new podcasts, like browsing, seeing what I could listen to.
You'd listen to all of our Ear Biscuits back so many times that you just couldn't take it anymore. You had to get something else.
I found a podcast called Hidden Brain. It's an NPR podcast. I'll try to remember to tweet out a link to it, but you can search anywhere podcasts are found. Not a sponsor. It's just it's explorations in what happens in the brain and how that impacts our daily lives. I've only listened to one episode, and it's an episode called Radio Replay. I guess that means that it was on NPR and then they put it on the podcast again at a later date. Yum and Yuck. Yum and Yuck is the actual name of the episode. And I highly recommend listening to it. It's very entertaining. But I was like, they're gonna talk about eating nasty stuff. I wanna see what their take on this is. And there's some psychological studies, and then this guy, the guest they had on there has done studies, and one in particular is about how, he was talking about people eating hot peppers. And he went to a particular town in Mexico, I believe I'm remembering this correctly, and he was kind of exploring the subject there, where in this particular place, they treat hot chili peppers like I treat salt and pepper, mostly pepper. Like I will douse something in pepper. I just like it. I like the black specks. It like adds a pop of contrast, and then it adds a pop of not spiciness, but a different type of pepper in my mouth. But chili pepper is a totally different thing. I mean, there is pain associated with eating a chili pepper. And everybody eats them in mass quantities. It's not a choice, it's just understood and thoroughly enjoyed by everyone. Once you reach the age of 5 years old, okay? Sometimes as early as 2. So like 2 to 5 years old, they start to like chili peppers. Now before that, you can't give a baby or an unacclimated 4-year-old a chili pepper and they're gonna like it.
Right.
That's just not gonna happen. But from across the board, as a true statement, by 5 years old, they're all eating the chili peppers. He was trying to figure out why. And he started looking at
Now, just to clarify.
Yeah.
This isn't, I would assume that this is much of Mexico that this applies to, but
yes.
he's just isolated, he's just studying this town.
Well, he happened to be in this one town, and that's what I was getting at. What he did was, there's dogs and pigs around that are eating the food that's thrown out, which is laced in chili peppers. So his question was, have they acquired a taste and an enjoyment of chili peppers as well? So like he put out a cracker with some hot sauce on it and then a cracker without it to see which one random dogs and pigs would prefer.
Mm.
And what's your guess?
My guess is that they did not prefer the spicy.
Correct, they did not prefer the spicy. Now they ended up eating both of them because they're animals and they're hungry and they're gonna eat both.
Eat anything.
But they preferred the ones that weren't spicy. They just tolerate it. Whereas humans do something different. Once they get to that age of 5 years old or so, they're actually starting to prefer it. Now, the first reason was described as societal and social pressure. I mean, you're all gathered around for a meal and all the older siblings, they're all eating the chili peppers. And even though it's a painful, tear-jerking experience.
And that's not something that would apply to dogs.
It's something that these
peer pressure is not a thing in the canine world. I mean, probably in some way it is, but not with eating hot stuff.
Right, so you know it's not actually an acquired taste. Like the more you eat, then you start to prefer it. But in humans, they start to prefer it. If given the option of putting the chili peppers on it, they will do that. They won't go, so to speak, to the cracker that doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So what's the difference there? What's happening? So the societal pressure to overcome the initial pain kind of breaks the seal and you start eating the chili peppers. But then the dogs and the pigs inform us to say, well, even once you eat it, it's still not an acquired taste. There's something else going on.
Well, okay, so let me at this point, before you get into the what is going on, I'm gonna give you just my layman's, I'm not trying to guess where the science is going. I'm just gonna say, as someone who likes hot stuff or liked hot stuff.
Okay,
because something changed with me. And also someone who has a son who Locke was eating hot wings as early as I can remember, like when he could have, and it was not me telling him, son, you should eat this, because Shepard still doesn't like hot stuff. Shepard, and less than 2 years ago, still described toothpaste as spicy. So this is a different palate.
Yeah, but Lando calls LaCroix spicy water.
Right, so.
Just because it's fizzy.
But Locke enjoyed hot wings and would get like, even, you know, he's 14 now, and back when we were living in Sherman Oaks and he was like 7, 8, 9, so even younger than Shepard, we would go and get hot wings.
I remember that.
We used to get Zaxby's back in North Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway.
Which had different levels of hot, and he would go
on
the hotter
very,
side.
very hot. And then of course, once he got to be like 10 or 11, he would go all the way to where I would went, which I think is like nuclear or something like that at Zaxby's. I stopped eating that stuff because so over the past couple of years, something has happened where it affects my like stomach way too much. Like I don't care about burning mouth. I love the feel and the taste, but it's the way it's affecting my insides is caused in my skin. I have like breakouts and stuff. Anyway, too much detail.
Too much detail, Rhett.
But
you're veering off.
To me, I always just thought, I would have said that it had more flavor, right? So I would have said that the spicy has more flavor, which I believe is a indisputable fact when it comes to a hot wing. Like when you get like mild at a place, it just tastes like butter. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get like mild buffalo.
Butter is a flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it is a different experience.
Right.
But I just wouldn't say that it doesn't have flavor. It just has.
It doesn't have as much flavor of the type of flavor that I'm going for. But then it does get into this place that like, there's an experience of eating the hot wings is like something, it's memorable, it's super active. If you're doing it with somebody, you're talking about it. It makes much more out of the meal. So you end up just thinking, I like hot stuff.
It adds a fun element.
Right, it's fun to eat hot stuff.
Well, and that may be baked into the answer that I learned from The Hidden Brain, which they then began to describe something that a phrase coined as benign masochism, which is enjoying initially negative experiences that the body/brain falsely interprets as threatening. So it's something, it's experiencing pain from something that is not actually going to inflict real damage. It's something that's thrilling, but not actually threatening. So that experience of knowing that it hurts, but that you're totally gonna be fine fuels the brain and creates an experience that you want to continue to have.
Well, it's like if you're in an accident and then you walk away from it, there's a thrill. That's like an extreme example of that.
Well, a better example is a roller coaster.
We talked about roller coasters before. We didn't use that term, benign masochism, but that's why I said, when I don't get sick on a roller coaster, the reason I love it is because I feel like I'm simulating near death without being anywhere close to it.
Right. Also for things like coffee. It's like the initial taste of coffee is very bitter. It's not something you would like. And again,
so this is, but
I've always
that's an interesting
an acquired taste.
That's an interesting extrapolation though.
So
the guy is saying
on an inner brain, psychological level, that's something that's happening. Now he didn't actually talk about acquired tastes because that would have been my explanation. That's like, the more you eat, the more you like it. But again, the pigs and the dogs don't. There's something else going on.
So we got into this a little bit when we talked about pickiness, right? So, and I find this interesting because you can rattle off a lot of things that are traditionally thought of as like not good. Blue cheese, right? Blue cheese is a prime example of something that like is very polarizing.
I don't like it.
And it tastes like rotten cheese because essentially that's what it is. And I absolutely love it, right? It's just this bite and I love it. But we don't, when it comes to like roller coasters, we're both just as willing to ride a roller coaster. It's not like you're afraid to ride roller coasters, but you don't like blue cheese, you don't like olives, spicy mustard or whatever, super hot stuff.
I think I don't think olives is really a in pickiness. It kind of goes a little too broad because I think you're
licorice. Licorice, like,
okay,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't
I don't
experience
weird
pain associated with licorice, but I also don't experience pain associated with the bitterness of coffee, which they did talk about. So I guess, okay, yeah, licorice. It's something that you're on a deeply instinctual level. It's like, oh my gosh, this shouldn't go into my mouth because it's going to, your brain saying
poison.
From an evolutionary standpoint, it's gonna contaminate you.
Because it's bitter like poison. Because the thing is it just as somebody who enjoys,
it's not.
But it's somebody who enjoys licorice, black licorice, in the saltiest, I have some of that samayaki in my office, probably still saying that wrong. It's not like when I eat it, I'm tasting strawberries. You know, it's not like when I'm eating it, like I'm tasting something that's like sweet and good. I'm tasting something that tastes like I'm biting into a root that I pulled out of the ground. Like the bitterness, it's for me, this is why I think it's all in the brain.
You're relating to this as well.
Because I think that when I taste licorice, I'm essentially tasting now everybody's taste buds are different. I understand that there's different amounts and different sensitivities and there's super tasters, etc. But I don't think that it's just like people are like, how do you know that I see green and you see what you're green, and the lyric from the Thoughtful Guy, why do you know that we see colors in the same way?
Yeah.
Well, because we have no reason to believe that we see colors differently, because the same DNA structure, the same genes that contribute to your visual apparatus are the same kind of genes that contribute to mine. So red is red, right?
So you're saying most people taste licorice,
I think you taste licorice
thing.
the same as me, but your brain has a different perspective on it.
Because your
and it must be this masochism thing.
So, I mean, benign masochism is not a rational thing. I think it's a subconscious thing that's happening.
Clearly, yeah.
But can you start to pull from that subconscious when you're eating the licorice? Can you filter that experience through, I don't know, dying?
No, but I think I can pull it into like smelling a fart.
Okay.
Sometimes you fart and you smell it and you're like, that's horrible, but you're like, I gotta keep smelling that.
Just take it in.
Yeah, I think that
I feel like
you know who you are, you know who's done that. And
suck it all up.
Not somebody else's fart. I've never savored someone else's fart. Let me just be very clear about that.
You savor your own.
And not all mine, just sometimes.
I feel like maybe you're learning something. Maybe your subconscious is learning something. I think Jade smells her own poop.
Well, dogs.
And I think she is learning. She's definitely learning something.
Dogs like to roll
about
in trash.
her own health.
Dogs like to eat trash.
That's different. That's more of like a camouflaging thing. But smelling your own poop, not eating it, but smelling it. Some dogs eat it. They talk about that in the podcast too. I think she's learning something about her own health. It's kind of like sending your fecal sample off to like some sort of doctor.
Which incidentally, I think I've shared this. I have the fecal sample kit at my home, ready to be filled up.
Oh, well, let me not help you with that.
I will be telling you all about it.
Why?
When I do it.
Why?
Because I went to a new doctor and I said, I want the full rundown. I want everything. I want blood work. He's like, you want a fecal sample thing?
What?
It's like, well, of course, if that's an option.
That sounds fun. What? Of course I want that. You just wanted to be thorough because you're a hypochondriac.
I want to know, I want a full evaluation. And I kind of like the idea of being in my bathroom and putting my poop into something and shipping it to somebody.
Go to this doctor, he's very thorough. He's very thorough.
I asked him, I was like, can I go outside to do this? No, I'm gonna be in the front yard.
What?
Because man, you know as well as anybody that open air human feces is one of the worst things in the world. It's worse than bear.
Worse than bear. So I think the question is, are we benign masochists? Are you buying it as far as, I don't think I am in normal life. Like I've acquired the taste of coffee. And I'm still gonna use that phrase, acquire the taste, in college. It was very late for me.
And me as well. I tasted it when my mom let me drink her coffee. I have like a vivid memory of tasting her coffee when we lived in Thousand Oaks. So I would have been, that's before I met you, so I would have been like 4 or 5, and being like, whoa. And it's like the first time your parents, let you have a little swig of wine,
Or when we're not proponents of this, but we've told the story of like trying chewing tobacco, which is
that's a
easily
prime example.
One of the worst things that you can try to put in your mouth. And the fact that people do it habitually, it's addictive because there's nicotine.
But you like that too. I mean that
I did not like it. It was
you liked
horrible.
it and hated it at the same time, man.
But the reason why was because it was
social pressure.
It was illegal. It was stupid, and it was wrong. It was forbidden.
Yeah,
it was forbidden.
You have to admit.
So I think that's a form of benign masochism.
When you were sitting out on one of those rocks in the middle of the Cape Fear River, and it was super hot, and we were sitting there spitting into the water.
Yeah, it makes you a little delirious, and that feels weird, and like, whoa, this is a different experience.
No, we're not proponents of that. You shouldn't do it. It's a horrible idea.
Do not do it.
Horrible idea.
My stomach turns just thinking about it right now, but I think it's a different form of benign masochism that's like, I'm motivated by another factor, which is, I know this isn't gonna, long term it will kill you, But short term, it's not going to kill me right now, but it feels illicit.
Well, so
it's a roller coaster thing.
But I do not. When I think about the things that we've done on the show, this is not the same thing for me. But I think maybe because we go so far into the extreme. Like if you take like surströmming as an example, you know, the fermented Swedish, whatever it is, some kind of fish.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible. The kind of thing that like when we open it in the studio, everyone has to evacuate. You don't have to eat it, you just have to get close to it.
We didn't even attempt to taste it. But if we opened it now, I bet you we would. And I think that's what I want to get at.
But but I wouldn't enjoy it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because it's the spirit of our show is to try things but I'm not trying it thinking, you know what? I might like this, even though that's kind of the unspoken premise, or sometimes the spoken premise of our show is will it whatever, was this gonna be unexpectedly good? But I don't go into those situations thinking of it the way that I think about sushi as an example. We didn't grow up eating sushi. A lot of people our age didn't grow up eating sushi, but especially where we're from.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I ever had sushi, it was weird. The wasabi was a completely new taste. The eating ginger all that was completely new and exotic, and I didn't really like it the first time, and then kind of liked it the second time, and then third, fourth time I was in, and now I can actually find myself craving it, right?
And I think that
I just don't see what we do.
I don't know if that's benign masochism. I do think that there is acquiring a taste for something through another means that isn't the pleasure of feeling like you're going to harm yourself, but you're not. I think there are other routes to changing your mind over time about something. But I would like to look back. Like I said, I traced Good Mythical Morning in terms of how did we get to a point where we started eating so much food? And it's interesting that it hasn't, what you've said is that there's not a component of it that we actually enjoy it. We don't actually enjoy in the moment eating the stuff that we're gagging. That's why we gag it out. But
I enjoy every other aspect of it.
I enjoy every other aspect.
So don't feel sorry for us.
Don't feel sorry.
Don't make comments where you say things like, if you guys don't enjoy it, don't do it.
We enjoy.
Most people do enjoy watching us not enjoy it, so.
And we're gonna
keep doing it.
We enjoy our audience enjoying that we're not enjoying it, and that makes us enjoy it.
And when I watch those montages of us trying to get things down and not being able to, I mean, you've seen the way that I react in the moment when you can't get something down. I mean, it brings me joy. I mean, there is pure joy in watching your best friend not be able to get food down. I mean, that's great. There's a lot of joy in that.
I was surprised at how we got to this point. So perhaps as a digression, I just wanted to take us down memory lane because I always tend to think of Will It as, we did an episode called Will It Taco. We did that episode on Cinco de Mayo of 2014.
Okay. Almost 5 years ago.
And I went back and I watched part of that. Just hard shells, and we just put stuff in it, and like broccoli and cheese. I made a comment on that episode before we ate pork blood, congealed pork blood in like little long cube logs of it. I said, this is why we're on the internet. This is our destiny.
Well,
like I said that.
You're a prophet.
Just really, really stupid. I shouldn't have said that. But I tend to think that like that's the moment where this thing started to careen into crazy. That was season 5, episode 82. So I went all the way back to the beginning. It's like, when do we really start eating stuff? Season 1, episode 5, we did best candy bar ever. And then maybe a month or two later, we did best cereal ever. We were trying different best evers, and we were like doing toys and all types of stuff. It didn't catch. So even though very early on we did eat some stuff and rank it, which we came full circle on that.
Right.
We abandoned it. That's all we did, ate those 2 things in season 1. Season 2, episode 76 was the next time I could find us eating something. They discontinued Twinkies and we said we acquired one and I had never eaten a Twinkie. So we said
how old was that?
It was the last Twinkie on earth. It was a fresh Twinkie, but the company was gonna go over. It was rescued and there's Twinkies still
Or
exist,
go under even.
Yeah. It's the only thing we ate in season 2. Season 3, episode 29, I was playing a game with you about like ways to extend your life, and every time you got a question right, I let you take a bite out of a quadruple Whopper.
Oh man.
Just because I thought that would be funny.
We had the good ideas back then, didn't we?
Well, but we didn't know what was happening. I mean,
I just wanted to eat a quadruple Whopper.
And you loved it. Oh yeah. You were eating this, you would get a question right, you would just chomp on this quadruple Whopper. And it was a great thumbnail too.
Wow.
Of course, that didn't really click into place. The only other thing we ate in season 3, there's an episode called Rhett and Link Eat Insects. And I think I didn't watch that one, but I think it's probably like fans sending us like crickets in a bag or something. I honestly didn't watch it. That's the only thing we ate in season 3. Then we made the Mythical Show, and then we came back in season 4.
No food on the Mythical Show.
Not that I recall.
Interesting that we had not yet
understood.
That definitely shows that we didn't understand the potential that there was in eating on camera. The fact that we created this show that we had such high hopes for,
right,
and didn't eat a thing.
Now,
well, maybe we did. But.
Now, Will It Taco again was season 5, but I'm just starting season 4. Everything that I could find in a cursory search that we ate, I'm sure there's a little bit more, but not a whole lot. We did a thing called the Habanero Pepper Challenge. I think that's where we ate increasingly hot peppers, getting up to the habanero. It's before hot ones existed. We did that once. Then we did something called the Noodle Showdown in season 4, where we ranked different types of noodles, like in a tournament style. Then we never did that again. It's so fascinating to me that like we did this. Why would we want to taste noodles?
Well, at that point we were already trying to figure out
we were out of ideas.
What to do, yeah.
We did we got that pill, the taste tripping pill.
Yeah.
Where it makes sweet things sour and sour things sweet, because we were big on experiments. Like that's how we thought of our show. We're not really eating things, we're only eat things if it's part of an experiment, or if we're inventing something, because we invented the Big Mac and cheese, and like put an orange chicken on a sub.
That seems more recent.
No, season 4.
Season 4?
Then we ate the ghost pepper to follow up with the habanero challenge. We did a ghost pepper episode. And then we did one called the strangest candy on earth. We just got international candies and we just tasted them and talked about them. That's all out of all those episodes in season 4, those are all the ones that are food-based. That's it. That's all I could find. Season 5, we started to get going a little bit. We tasted fake bacon. And then a few episodes later, we did an exotic meat taste test. And then we started like putting sriracha on stuff and eating it. We got some of that cat poof coffee and tried that. I said cat poof, but it was cat poop.
Yeah, it made it sound better.
We did a blind berry taste test with strawberry 17. Again, this is an exhaustive list. This is not just highlights. These are the only food things we did. Then we did Bug War, which was me eating a scorpion.
Oh, wow. That got a lot of clicks.
Season 5, episode 57. That's like became our most viewed video of all time because it was the thumbnail of me holding up a scorpion and I actually ate the whole freaking thing.
Golly. But
you see what got us to that point is, we ate some bugs the previous season, we ate some exotic meats. Then we did a pizza taste test. We just did that out of nowhere. I mean, I'm sure BuzzFeed was doing their stuff too, and there was a lot of feeling like we're getting on each other's bandwagon or something. That was starting to happen.
I don't know if we were, you think we were on the radar at that point, that season? Maybe, I don't know.
Season 5 is when GMO started to take off, I think. We ate 40-year-old ham and eggs, then we did Will It Taco. Then after that, in season 5, we only did 2 more food episodes I could find after Will It Taco. We did Flying Waffle, which was unidentified flying waffle. We tried to invent other dishes, like we did Big Mac and cheese the last season.
Right.
And that didn't work, so we abandoned that. And then we did the squeezable food taste test, where we fired food at each other's faces, which was a lot of fun. But that was just like a weird one-off because we were doing a bunch of like experiment stuff, and again, we didn't really think of it as a food thing. That's all we did. The next season, we did Will It ice cream sandwich because in our I'm on vacation video, we played guys who worked in an ice cream sandwich factory. And so we came up with that idea in order to promote people watching our music video. And we were like, oh, we did Will It Taco many months earlier. So May of 2014, let's see, June, okay. It was only a month later.
No, we started, it was early. It was maybe in the beginning of season 6.
Yeah, so we followed that up. And then all of a sudden we started to do some stuff. But again, I can quickly tell you everything we did in season 6, it was food. Smell tasting, Will It Double Awesome, that wasn't food actually. Will It Deep Fry, and then we did the Carolina Reaper. Did you know that has 25 million views?
Yeah, that's because a bunch of people keep
crazy,
watching
man.
it.
September of 2014.
Even now.
Guess That Exotic Sausage. We did that 4 episodes later. Then we opened the Surstrumming with PewDiePie and a Good Mythical More. We did Will It Cereal, started doing a bunch of other Will It's. 3 episodes later, we did Blind Fast Food Burger Challenge. That's when we started getting into that blindfolded,
started getting
identifying stuff. And we started, you see the slippery slope of us starting to eat more exotic or weird foods. It was interesting in my mind that like, Will It Taco did not click in our minds that we were immediately gonna start doing Will It's. Like we do one every month now, but that took a long time to get going because the 3rd one we did was Will It Double Awesome. Because we started doing experiments about like giving yourself hiccups, so we would like start to drink a whole bunch of hot sauce. We just started to become much more willing to put things down our throats in order to experiment and find stuff out.
Well,
maybe that's not the best way to put it.
Well, okay, so what we were doing, just to put it bluntly, is we were, without even really knowing it or, acknowledging it at the time, we were doing, it was kind of our personal version of what has happened with the media, with online media in general. So
we became these daredevils and we didn't even know it was happening.
Well, specifically what I'm saying is that, okay, so now the way that the news works is it's based on advertising, right? So, I mean, I'm not saying anything that you don't already know, but basically a lot of people are sort of saying that, journalism is ultimately dead if something doesn't change because ads are what is fueling the journalism industry. And so what do you need? You need eyeballs. Truth is not important, eyeballs are important. So therefore you're going to title your article in a way that gets people to click. And you're probably gonna be willing to do something that's misleading, right? Now we weren't doing it, we were always concerned about making sure that when you clicked on something, it wasn't misleading. So it's not the same. But
so we had to actually put it in our mouths.
Right, we
can't dangle a scorpion and then not eat it.
The news industry has been completely transformed because they want people to click. Our lives, because we were the ones personally putting ourselves into this situation.
Our GI tract
has been
transformed.
In fact, we were talking the other day about what is this, and this is why I'm getting my poop analyzed, and you should too.
I should too.
I'm getting my microbiome analyzed because I wanna know what's in it, man. And I think it's going to be drastically different than it would have been before all this stuff happened because of the stuff that we put in our bodies. But that's what we were doing. We were responding to a trend, and when we would go back and we would look at a season and we would decide, well, what are we gonna do again? It was like, well, one of the factors was, well, these things got views. People seem to care about this, so we gotta keep doing those things.
And we're good at it. We instinctively know how to contextualize experimental or weird or gross foods. And also, and then on the backside of that, somehow we became every man who can say, if I eat a burger blindfolded, can I tell you what it is or not? You know, just because it's just interesting to people, and we're like, okay. But I just wonder if, like Johnny Knoxville or like the Jackass crew, like, do they have, is there actual masochism going on with them, or are they in a, like if we were to talk to them, would they be in a similar place? I've listened to a few Johnny Knoxville interviews. I think I like the guy. I'd like to meet him, I'd like to ask him, but I don't remember gleaning that knowledge. If, I just get a sense that like, are they just doing it for their version of clicks or adulation or, you know, entertainment value? Do they actually enjoy it? Of course, there's such a thing as a masochist.
I think that first of all, they're in a completely different league.
Well, yes.
With what they're willing to do to themselves.
Absolutely.
In fact, the links that they go to are things that the average Good Mythical Morning viewer would probably be uncomfortable with, and there's probably not an incredible crossover between the two audiences, even though we put ourselves under duress all the time.
Well, the Coyote, I
nearly,
said, and I think I've said before that like I cannot watch Coyote Peterson get stung or bit or gnawed upon.
And I think
I could not watch it.
Have you watched Jackass?
Not much.
Would
no.
you just the same thing apply? Like seeing somebody get hit in the nuts, or I mean the stuff that seeing somebody get attacked by a lion while in a zebra costume. I mean they do. That's the kind of thing that they do.
I mean I also don't watch other people. I've only watched other people eat hot peppers because they wanted to watch them. Of course, I don't really watch a lot of stuff, but I don't watch people eat gross things either. Like the thing that we've arrived at when it comes to eating gross foods, the only point of reference that I personally have are the few episodes of Fear Factor that happened to be on television way back in the day where they would force him to eat nasty stuff as like a physical challenge.
Well, that's really the first, I think in terms of US culture, but that's sort of our first exposure to that whole phenomenon.
It's interesting that it's something that we just had these couple of weird ideas, and only because they worked, it evolved into this thing. We weren't emulating anybody, and we weren't entertained by anybody else doing anything comparable. Yet we find ourselves in this position, and now you're wondering, has it impacted your inner biome?
Well, because
how else do you think it's impacted us?
Because I also don't eat. It's changed the way that I eat in general, because I feel like, well, when we make the show, I eat basically whatever I want. And you know me, like if we're doing a pizza taste test or whatever, I'm like a cow, man. I
look over there and
I'll just eat the whole piece without thinking about it.
I have a handful of whatever it is we're eating. I look over at you and it's gone. I'm like,
yeah, and it's not a conscious
throw
thing.
It away?
I'm a big man. I'm a hungry man. I run hungry. There's such a thing as running hungry.
like my your idol?
My level
like
of hunger
idol?
is, even though you're the one who's always like, when is lunch? I'm actually the one who's hungry. I'm always hungry. And so I just eat, but I've thought, I'm putting these things in my body when we make the show, so I probably shouldn't put these things in my body when we're not making the show. So I try not to eat fried stuff. I try to limit my meat intake.
I remember talking to Harley,
lot.
And he was talking about how he eats healthily when he's not doing epic mealtime. Like at the height of epic mealtime, we had this discussion, and he was like,
yeah, you have to.
We went out to dinner with him, and he was like, I'm kind of gonna get a salad. I'm kind of gonna eat make a healthy choice, because I do that, because I'm a human.
Because we went to that place next to VidCon in Anaheim that was like burgers and hot dogs or whatever, and he was like, I'm gonna get salad.
Right.
So it's definitely impacted the way that I see food.
But hot foods, I've been scarred. I absolutely have. There's no chance of me getting on that bandwagon, because I've been burnt. Like my brain has changed because of the experiences that we had with the Carolina Reaper and the Trinidad Marugo Scorpion. So that ship has sailed.
To
that
me,
ain't
it's less,
again.
Because what happens with you is like you can smell it or taste it and it makes you like sick or whatever. That doesn't happen to me. What happens to me is it was just so unpleasant, especially I'm the one who suffered the most from the Trinidad thing. I was out of commission last time.
You were on the show, but then that night I was in just as bad a peril.
We both threw up. But to me, it's just.
We both forced ourselves to throw up so that we wouldn't have to pass it the other direction.
At this point.
And that was not an easy thing to do because it was just as hot when you threw it up. It's not like when it got in your stomach, it started to lose its hotness.
Well, okay, and so a lot of people have said, okay, well there's the Pepper X, which is hotter than anything that we've eaten. Why don't you guys eat the Pepper X? Well, interesting. There's a reason for that. Because
I don't want to.
You think
that's my reason.
Well, I think it's actually there's variables involved, right? There's what is the level of pain that we would go through, and then what is the reward? And then how much does the reward impact where we're at? So at this point, thankfully, we don't need to have a video that gets 20 million views in order to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like we've gotten to a place where we have a product that people like and we don't have to put ourselves through that much pain in order to get noticed. And so it's just not worth it. And also it wouldn't get that many views because people have seen people do all kinds of stuff now. It's not nearly as novel as it was. But you know what? The pain that we would experience is the constant. In fact, it's probably actually increased because we've gotten older. So the amount of discomfort that we would go through is at an all-time high and then the reward is at an all-time low. And that is why we are not going to ever eat the Pepper X. You don't need to keep asking us to do it. We're not gonna do it. We don't have to, so we're not going to.
Eating gross stuff, yes, and you've never done this before. Let's do a fist bump.
Yeah, okay.
It's good, Rhett. We'll
glad you said bump after that.
Put a stake in the ground.
Yeah.
We put a fist bump together. But when it comes to gross foods, I think I've learned, we've learned a couple of things. Like my brain, I've developed some skills. Like I'm really good with a blindfold. Like I can operate with a blindfold in lots of environments.
You wear it all the time now.
Put that in my
sleep with one.
My want ad. Good with blindfold. Call me.
What do you want?
Well, I think we're both really good at like tasting things that have no business having the flavor they have and guessing what it is. Like blindly guessing incongruous flavors on things because that's happened a lot over episodes.
We've got a lot of experience with
like
that.
Just blindly guessing why something has a flavor that it shouldn't have. But then also just the skill to be able to participate in one of the most intimate acts that a human could participate in, and that's consuming something.
Wow, that's intimate, huh?
I mean,
it's going inside you.
I mean, it really is. I mean, if you want to get down to like what's happening, I think the reason why it's so compelling what we and the other people who eat weird stuff do is because like, I mean, the most intimate thing you can do with something is put it in your mouth. I mean, it's one of the most intimate things.
I mean, it might be the most intimate.
Yeah, so it's like, if that's gross and you're willing to consume it or try to consume it, that is a feat. And we have gotten good at being able to do that. Like being able to, I mean, the amount of time that we would hem and haw before we would like actually put something in our mouths has drastically decreased. Like we're almost nonchalant about it now. Like we forget.
Well, and also
but we're good at it.
And going back to the variable is gross stuff, it's gross for a second. It doesn't, I mean, some stuff sticks with you a little bit.
Even if you swallow it kind of disappears.
Even in the worst case, it's you can get the taste out of your mouth. You can get a taste out of your mouth.
Right.
You can't necessarily get that burn out of your mouth in the same way, or that burn out of your belly.
So I think continuing to eat gross things, I think we've reached, I hope Josh isn't listening to this.
Yeah, don't tell him about this.
I think we've reached like practically like the ceiling.
Yeah, but we're not
of how actually gross something can be.
But we're not any, I don't know about that. I don't feel like I'm any better. For instance, I've said this repeatedly, the congealed blood, ironically, the first thing that we ate that kind of started this whole train.
This is the answer to the question, what is the worst thing you've ever eaten?
I think it's gotta be the blood because, you know, the reason I don't like liver that reason is multiplied by exponentially with the blood, because it's got this metallic, like it just,
I know,
but instantly coats my mouth, and I have this visceral reaction, and it immediately makes me gag.
I've seen you like without pause or discussion, just bite into a heart like an apple.
That wasn't a problem.
Yeah. And that's still a problem for me. Like anything that like is an intact thing, that's nasty. I have a real hard time with that. Like an eyeball or an entire organ, like a kidney or a heart, those type of things. But I have gotten a lot better. I've grown as a performer. It's just a weird type of performance. It's just, I mean, I'm so fascinated that we like careened, I don't know, it didn't happen that fast. That's not the right verb, but how did it make you feel when I tracked through the ideas that we had? Did it make you feel
proud? Is that what you're looking for?
I guess.
You want to feel proud?
I don't know what
you need to feel some more pride.
No, no.
I'm not surprised by it at all.
It's so weird, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I kind of feel like, and I think this has been proven when, we've initiated, it's sort of the unofficial initiation, at least it was at a certain time for new, crew members, was having them eat something. But if you go back and look at those things, or when we've had like a special guest, like a Make-A-Wish guest, or when we had the Golden Tea winner, Megan. They all ate stuff like without issue. I don't think that we're especially good at eating it. I think we're especially good at reacting to it. I think that the thing that we do that's compelling is the way that we engage with it, but I don't think it's that we have some incredible tolerance for gross things, because I think Josh would show us up.
Oh yeah.
He can eat anything. The dude likes the blood. He prefers the blood.
Well, we've got an idea. We're flirting with an idea. I'll just, give you guys a scoop, because hey, you listened this far into an Ear Biscuit, talking about what if we revisited some Willets. And I think this was an idea that some mythical beast suggested as well. So we are listening, we hear, and we consider that. I think Stevie might have seen some comments.
Well, because we would be able to do it in a way that back in the day it was throw broccoli into a taco, but now we've got Josh and he can actually make something that's interesting, unique, and innovative in some way. So
right,
I think if we revisited things, it would be in a completely fresh way.
Can he make some of the things that didn't Will?
I think his greatest challenge is, can he make me enjoy the blood? That's really, but I do want to just quickly, because I found some stuff that I think is, it helps to explain how we're gonna map out the next years of our life and how we're gonna relate to these things. Because the good news is, Link, we're gonna get better. You think we're already pretty good at eating this stuff. Well, science is on our side. We are going to get better because our taste is going to get worse.
Oh, what you got?
First of all, I did not understand this, but okay, so basically taste sensitive cells are called gustatory cells. Gustatory cells, it's like the name Gus and then Tatori. Gustatory cells.
Sure.
They're clustered within the taste buds of the tongue, the roof of the mouth, and the lining of the throat. What? You can taste with your throat? Yes.
I didn't know that.
Did you know that you can taste with the roof of your mouth? You should take your finger, put it on the roof of your mouth and see if you taste it.
No, let's make this an episode. This will be like a season 4 episode.
Good idea.
Can you taste with just your throat?
Most people have around between 2,000 and 10,000 taste buds. That's quite a discrepancy, quite a range, but 9,000 is a number I got somewhere else.
Okay.
So 9,000, I think it's closer to 10,000 for most people. Now, your taste buds will begin to decrease in number and also shrink and get less effective. The ones that remain get crappier. This happens between the ages of 40 and 50 for women and 50 to 60 for men. It happens later for men. So we've actually like the 50 to 60, and then after 60, those are gonna be like the golden years of tasting for us.
So a 45-year-old man has more taste than a 45-year-old woman.
On average.
I didn't say it.
After 60, many people lose the ability to distinguish between sweet, salty, sour, and bitter foods. So now you're getting to a place where grandpa, it's just like the time that
Mush.
my grandfather-in-law, my brother-in-law was eating some steak and he got some gristle and he couldn't chew it. And so he took it and he put it on his plate and then my grandfather-in-law just picked it up and ate it.
Oh.
Because old men cannot distinguish between somebody else's spit out gristle and steak.
Texture, man. That was just, he's also a performer.
I don't know if he knew that it had been spit out. He just picked it off his plate and ate it. And then it gets worse. After 70, your sense of smell begins to decrease, which is just adding to the fact that you've got all these dying taste buds. Now you can't even smell, which is 80% of taste. And then what people start doing is they start adding salt and sugar so they can taste more, which is in turn bad for their health.
Oh.
I think what this all means is that people are just not meant to live that long, I think modern medicine, we're supposed to die, we're supposed to be about dead right now. Humans are supposed to live, what, 40, 45, 50, like the cavemen, and then you're supposed to expire. But we've got all these modern conveniences and we can just live forever.
But not taste.
We can't hear, we can't see, we can't taste, we can't smell. But that's a great time to just really lean into this.
I think what it means
after
is
70, man.
Boy, we're really gonna turn a corner on Good Mythical Morning.
We'll be eating the testicles right off of animals.
Well, I mean, you thought that was funny.
Because anything will be acceptable.
That's a joke, I hope.
That far in advance,
Right.
Actually, what the reality is, we're gonna
experience this hologram of these elderly people.
Oh, no, you know what's gonna happen? Because society changes and societal norms change and what's acceptable morally continues to change, we're gonna look back, they will show videos of us eating testicles 20 or 30 years from now, and it'll be like, can you believe that we did this as a society? The shame.
Oh gosh,
we'll be like,
we'll be in a montage at the beginning of a documentary about the decline of.
It all started when people started getting entertained by men eating animal testicles. And we'll be like, you're right, sorry. We'll go live in a cave.
We will grant an interview for the documentary?
No, we'll be in a cave. We won't speak to anyone. We'll be publicly shamed.
Oh, and we won't be able to taste.
We'll be like, I'm sorry, it was a different time. And it'll be like, we don't care that it was a different time. You shouldn't have done it.
Did you bring sugar and salt? Okay, well, I think the conclusion is, as fascinating as benign masochism is, and it does apply to certain things, I do not think it applies to us. Because
really, in relation to the show, I completely agree.
Right. I've never had a hankering to taste testicle.
Yeah, me neither, man. That's the truth.
That's the truth. But no judgment if that's you. All right, so there you have it, a culinary delight spread before you, and a table of our choosing, which is round and dimly lit.
Do you have a recommendation?
We got to throw in a Rex in effect, because we try to. If you hated all of that, you still stuck around because you want a recommendation. I'm gonna make this quick, but I'm gonna recommend an app. Still in the music loving genre. I recommend Genius. It's also a website, and so if you haven't heard of this, it's a collective of users who will then place commentary on lyrics. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
The app is yellow, and it's
called Genius.
It's called Genius, and it's
not Genius Scan.
No, that's
another app.
That's for receipts. So yeah, I mean, as an avid partaker in hip hop, I'm able to. I need translations. Like basically, Genius is a translation for what
to understand
the hell they're talking about in hip hop these days. Because I mean, between all the mumbling and all the codes, they rap in code.
Right.
And if this 40-year-old out of touch dude is going to understand it and fully appreciate what's happening, I lean on Genius.
Wow, that's a good rec.
Yeah, and they have
Is it all lyrics? Or is it hip hop in general?
All lyrics. Any song that you're curious about the meaning or and people will upvote, and so like the best user-generated commentary will kind of rise to the top. So it's got this wiki vibe that it's not 100% reliable, but you can kind of tell.
Okay.
You know, so it definitely helps shed some light on, I mean, it's basically all of hip hop is code, is what I've learned from the app. And if you're listening on Spotify, sometimes on your phone, they'll have like Genius will come up and add like a pop-up video layer on also, like I learned like the backstory about that, you know, the song Africa, because I was just listening to it on Spotify and the Genius pop-ups started coming up on the video, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I just find myself watching Genius via Spotify on my phone listening to music because I'm into that. So that's the rec. If you're into that, then go check it out. And if you think you know stuff about lyrics, you can submit stuff. Again, not a sponsor, just a rec.
Yeah, we just give recs, man. We just give recs stuff that we like.
All right, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out with us. Are you hungry? Go get you something to eat.
I don't think we talked about anything that would generate appetite.
Salt and vinegar almonds.
Oh, yep, those are good. Don't give them to the kids though.
Hashtag Ear Biscuits. Let us know about your experience with benign masochism.
Or don't.
Well, you know what it is now.
Yeah. Just tell us how you see gross foods.
Yeah. Just in the foods.
We'll be more
in the
specific.
food realm.
Yeah.
To watch more Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist on the right.
To watch the previous episode of Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist to the left.
And don't forget to click on the circular icon to subscribe.
If you prefer to listen to this podcast, it's available on all your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks for being your mythical best.